Erra Neon. They do get heavier. Just so you know. Anyway. This is the 4th full-length studio album. They also have an EP, and I'll get to that part in a minute. Alright, this has been a while since I've done an album review, or at least last album was maybe 2 weeks ago. Yeah. And this one, 10 tracks. I've been listening to this for a while, finally got a chance to get the album, and I really did dig this record at first. And then once I started doing what a certain somebody I know recommend that did the review on time compared to me, this album is technically a damn good record, and it's up there. It's probably gonna, if it's not gonna make top 10, it might make honorable mentions or top 15, top 20, something like that. I'm already just gonna put that out of the gate. But as I had said in my previous video, if you hadn't seen it, there hasn't been anything, and unfortunately this album isn't at the moment doing enough anymore. So I will say this album, as it starts with Breach, is actually pretty dang good. The vocalist, guitarist of the band, Jesse Kosh. There's also a more screamed vocalist by a guy named JT Cavey. His style comes with this album in comparison to previous records. I don't know if it's the same guy or if they've had different guy at this point, but I will tell you this much: with Jesse Cash, who does the guitar's vocals, his vocals are more the clean style, but more along the lines of, say, in similarities towards the in and out the two vocalists from that were known primarily with Seosin and, well, Anthony Green from both Seosin, Circus Survive, and whoever replaced him and Seosin when he started doing Circus Survive. That's what I'm getting out of this album. What I have him vocally, and he's mentioned that as an influence. And JT Cavey, I don't know if he has a thing for Hatebreed or what other many bands that have tried to come off more closer to that particular hardcore vocal style. It's fun. It's whatever. I mean, it works, and it's a lot easier to digest, and actually you can get more words out of it with that particular vocal style, even when he's screaming. So it helps that you can probably hear most of the vocals regardless of screamed or not. And this one it's pretty good. I feel like they've been maturing and becoming more and more commercial in sound ever since they've come to Sumerian Records, it seems, from what I've gathered. And I'm going to tell you this: it's probably best to pretty well if you do this, if this is your first time, go ahead. It's actually worth it. But after that, if you're going to get into discography, I'm going to give you the same recommendation I was given from that of fellow reviewer Lucas LeCompton. That is, go backwards. Normally, I just go beginning to end instead of the other, or instead of skip this, or whatever, usually. But at least that's what I do at first. And Thirst is probably the only band I will say that, even still to this day, is still one of those bands where I'm still willing to go through all their entire album discography. I'm going to just throw Thrice out there, which I believe there's a possibility they may have been somewhat influenced by them, not entirely. Though it is clear that they kind of run along the lines of the whole genty, progressive metalcore type trend of things. More so progressive metalcore. The metalcore is definitely there. More so than the progressive metal elements, which were kind of more so, I guess, from their last album, I think is called Drift. Or was that their first? I could be getting it wrong. I guess in the comments below, let me know with that. But the guitars are Sean Price, between Cash and Sean Price. They're pretty good. They're pretty good with their guitars and stuff, though. The one that kind of gets me is more the vocal harm, is more the way is Hyper Reality's sort of clean chorus The way it's delivered is actually the most catchiest thing I probably have heard on. One of, if not the catchiest thing I've heard all year. If I can find the chorus in here. Weightlessness, separate from this conscious, alleviation from the noise. Yeah, or weightlessness, separate from this conscience, breaking the rhythm of the noise. That's usually, that part, the way it's delivered, is definitely the catchiest thing. I mean, between that and the guitar riff, that's somewhat at the beginning, though it also kind of has a very Rocky Erickson two-headed dog thing to it, in the sense that the riff starting out kind of is off-putting until they finally get into the part that gives us the groove we're looking for. If you haven't heard that song from Rocky Erickson, Two-Headed Dog, it's a very old song, and I wouldn't have known about it if not for the Foo Fighters thing they did for Sonic Highway, so just pointing that out. So yeah, and it's pretty good. As far as I'm concerned, this album, it is solid. It's definitely worth checking out, and if you like this but want something a little on the heavier side, it's probably best that you check out their, hold on a second, sorry, that you check out their follow-up albums, their previous albums, but go from whatever came before, just go from predecessor to predecessor to predecessor, and that kind of sort of includes the EP, Moments of Clarity, which was their first effort they had going into Sumerian. And sadly, to me, it's probably the best effort as a whole they've done, and probably one of those EPs you should not sleep on. I'm going to say that right now. Like, there's a perfect sweet spot right there between whatever they were doing in their earlier stuff and whatever they wound up doing on Sumerian and their other full lengths. Yes, I'm going to recommend you that right now. I've yet to kind of go back to Moments of Clarity because I've been, preoccupied. But yeah, this album, this album here is good. Good. And it's definitely worth checking out. His recommendation was pretty high, my own buddies, but I don't know if mine will be as high. I'll definitely give it a rock, so I'm not going to say it's masterclass necessarily. But, at the worst, I would probably give it a high thumbs up. And maybe, just straight up rocks. It's good. It's worthwhile. Maybe you'll like it even more. There's not much to say, I guess. That I haven't, Breach is also a good startup. Not sure what the other single, sorry, I had looked at the title, Signal Fire. Anyway, what did you guys think of this album? Since it's been out since, August? I think. And if yes, now finally found a full length to get to it, because it's the only copy you could find out of V-Stock. That's new, by the way. Nonetheless. And yeah, overall, yeah. Like this label. So, anyway. What did you guys think of the new Erra album, Neon, here? Leave a comment below, let me know, rock that like button if you must, if you like this video. Please also check I always seem to forget to please check my Facebook page if you can. It may not be much there, but if you want to mostly check out other videos there, as well as just through the YouTube page, you're welcome to it. And as always, keep it random, keep it real, keep it rocking, and hopefully, see you later. I don't know why and somehow with that video, I got 27 views, but no comments, nothing. Like seriously? I hear a frog in here, I think. Hopefully you didn't hear a frog. Anyway, yeah. And I guess that's about it. Maybe an Electric Wizard. I'm thinking maybe if I might actually check out the Greta Fleet record. And whatever recommendations else you gave me that I haven't gotten to yet. But that's about it. Alright. Take care, y'all. Go ahead and check it out. It's good. Alright. Again, take care, y'all. See ya. I suck at videos. I tell you that.